Gentlemen, this is ever-energetic Toastmaster Sweta Ajay, and I am your Chief Flight Assistant. On behalf of Captain Anita and the entire Air Rendezvous crew, welcome aboard Flight 0021. Non-stop service from your kitchen to the main room and then continuing on to the kitchen. Air Club mission. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Safety rules. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is prohibited. Smoking is prohibited in this entire aircraft, including your lavatories. Tampering with or disabling, destroying the lavatory smoke detector is prohibited by law. At the time of takeoff and all through your flight, your portable electronic devices must be kept in airplane mode until the announcement is made. In this flight, please refrain from gossiping on sex, religion, or politics. Stop talking when the cabin crew is talking, or else we shall mute you. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. However, they'll be used by the cabin crew. The rest of you, please trust the captain. The exit to the washroom. To exit to the washroom, please switch off your video and switch it on once you return. In the event of emergency, please mute yourself and switch off your video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our cabin crew, and we wish you all an enjoyable flight. Let me now invite our ever-poised flight captain, Toastmaster Disha Oman, to open up the runway for the flight 0021 as the acting president, with a big round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sweta. And that reminder for no smoking was really needed. We were just looking for, was there an opportunity? Anyway, thank you for that. Anyway, it is not possible, right? However, first and foremost, welcome on board to Air Rendezvous Flight 0021, each and every one over here in this meeting. Air Rendezvous is a 9-month-old air service exclusively run by the lady cabin crew. Obviously, that is the highlight of this meeting and the club. This meeting has, in the recent past, won many accolades. Smetley Award, Distinguished Club status, and the recent achievement being the home club of the International Speech Contest. That is really the best part. As well as, it's not ending there. The second runner-up for the evaluation contest at the area level. So please put your hands together for these wonderful achievements. Moving ahead, but still, we are not going to put a full stop over there. We know that. The flight aims at many more accolades and is speeding at 720 words per minute under the able guidance of experienced mentors. With pride and the power vested in me as the acting president, I declare this runway for flight 0021 open. Now it is the moment to spotlight the captain, who is the most experienced and skillful personality to give right directions to the cabin crew and the passengers. So on that note, I call upon the Chief Captain Toastmaster Anita to take over and meander Air Rendezvous to a smooth takeoff. Passengers, put your hands together to welcome Captain Toastmaster Anita Naidu. The runway is all yours.
Thank you so much, Chief Flight Attendant Toastmaster Jisha Sanil. That was indeed Very good, very emphatic announcement and guidelines that have been given by you and our chief flight attendant, Shweta Ajay, as well. Thank you so much. Good evening, dear passengers. Our flight time will be of 2 hours and 0 minutes. We will be flying at an altitude of 25,000 feet at a ground speed of 296 kilometers per hour. It should be a smooth ride as the climate outside is pleasant and the internet is working well. As a precautionary tip, if you come across a friend named Jack during this flight, please refrain from greeting him, "Hi, Jack," lest you land under the strong hands of our able lady crew with ammunition in hands. "Hello, Jack," "Good day, Jack," "Good evening, Jack" is preferable. Cabin crew, are we ready for the takeoff? Yes. Cabin crew, please prepare for your takeoff. Passengers, please be seated. Let's have some fun as I fly you through the clouds in flight number 0021 Air Rendezvous. Good evening once again, each and every one of you. What I'm going to do today is going to give you all a gist of what you might be knowing, might not know, would want to know, would not want to know about a flight, in flight, okay? How many of you here know the word acrophobia, or at least must have done your homework and come? Okay, even before we proceed, can I have at least our cabin crew have their videos with the virtual backgrounds on? Otherwise, it looks like I'm sitting in the cockpit area. I don't want to feel that. Perfect. Wonderful. Yes, we still have one more cabin crew to come on with her virtual background. Manali, we're waiting for you as well. With the virtual background, if you can.
I'll check. Yeah.
It's on the group. It's on the group. Okay, acrophobia is defined as a fear of heights. Did you know that more than 80% of the population is afraid of flying? So, what should they be doing in order to get rid of acrophobia? Well, all you need to do is do a lot of skipping and grow tall so that you don't feel that anything is too much. I mean, you are above a lot of things. Okay, let me admit, humor is not everyone's cup of tea. I must have failed in making you all laugh over that, but that's fine once again. We're all trying. Now, some facts. 1914, January 1st, the first scheduled passenger airline took its maiden flight. Okay, so 1914 it is. Remember, when your children ask you, you should be able to say that. And the route was just a mere 34 kilometers across the Tampa Bay in Florida. Boring news? Okay. We'll talk about something a little more interesting. Black box. What is the color of a black box? Any idea? Any genius people? Indie genius?
Red.
Orange.
Wow, who said that? Orange. Somebody did homework or was like browsing on the internet. Some leakage, some cheating.
No.
Passengers, you all are all getting very smart. We do have internet on our flight, and which is free of cost, so you can happily use it. Yes, it is orange in color because of the radiations, and it keeps things safe. So they have used this as the color for the black box, which is also known as the flight data recorder. Now, do you know which is the filthiest? Timer, please time me. Otherwise, I can go on and we'll be delayed, or we'll end up in a crash. Do you know the filthiest place on a plane? What place is that? Any guesses?
Carpet?
If the plane has got a carpet, no.
No.
Come on.
Place where food is stored?
Something related to that, but not storage. No,
Kitchen?
no. Okay. The filthiest place on a plane is that tray table you are eating your meal off. According to a study conducted by whatever Travel Math, tray tables hosted 2155 colony forming bacterial units. That means they don't stay as one. They form their own colony on those tray tables. Okay, and it has been diagnosed to be detected to be there per square inch. Inch itself is a very, 2.54 centimeters, like per square inch, you have so much. In comparison, the button to flush the toilet has just 265 CFUs. Okay, so like 265 here and 2155 there. You can actually start to think of eating in the washroom. Okay, that's about it. The safest seats on an aircraft are, a lot of you people love the aisle seat, right? But if you really don't want to risk your life, go back. I know the audio is bad, but just go back and be seated at the back of the plane, because that's the most safest place. That's where about 32% of the accidents happen. So you're actually 1/3 only, not very safe though. Okay, how many of you all like to tuck yourselves in those blankets? It's getting cold. We love these blankets. Ah, yes, mummies and to be mummies.
After these facts, I'm not interested to tuck myself in those blankets anymore.
You better not be, okay? Because airplane blankets aren't always washed between passengers. Is that clear?
I used to
Okay.
Oh,
ask,
no. No, no, no.
They are washed once in a month. So in a month, how many times does the airplane shuttle? Well, I leave that to your guesses. Now, one more very interesting secret that I would want to reveal is, all of us use the WC and we are just thinking that we can just stand in front of the mirror and do whatever natak we want to do and nobody's watching us. But let me tell you, if you're going to spend more time there and the cabin crew gets to know, understand from outside, and somebody is really in an emergency, they can actually open the door from outside. Okay, so be very, very aware of this. American Airlines saved not one, not 100, not 1,000, but $40,000 by cutting off one small vegetable from the snack box. And that small vegetable is very, very popular in the UAE. It is sour, it is tasty. We use it on pizzas, we use it in all the Arabic food.
jalapeno? No.
Olives. Olives, yes. Just by cutting off one olive from the, the vegetable box, they could save 40,000 stupendous dollars. Okay, by cutting one ingredient from the meals. So, are you happy, or you want some more revelations to happen?
My mother thinks my room is the dirtiest. Now I have to tell her all these facts to make her realize that no, people are even bad than I am.
No.
People are
Shweta.
People pay to land in places which are much more dirtier than Shweta M's room. I'm not talking about my room. Right? So now we're all set. I don't want to take more of your time here, but are you okay to go in for a quick quiz? Timer, who's timing us? How much time do we have? Are you timing me? Are you timing me, Naman? Okay,
Yes, I am timing you. You've reached to 4 minutes.
What is it now?
4 minutes, but you'll have to bear in mind that I started the timer a little bit late, so we should be now 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll just take another 2 minutes. Please count me for 2 minutes, and that's if you people are smart people. Okay, 1 second. Yes. Okay, this is the quiz. Now I want very quick answers. Okay. If the air hostess says, I'll assign you the dash seat to give you more room to stretch your legs out, what is she indicating at? Please unmute yourselves. Your time starts now. Ones who are flying, going to fly. Sorry?
Seat.
Sorry?
I'll assign you an aisle seat to give you
Aisle seat. Absolutely. Good going. The captain and his co-pilot sit in the... Where am I? Absolutely. Obviously. Passengers must stay seated on the plane during the 1 hour What is it called? Stopover.
Stopover or layover.
Layover, stopover, yes. When you paid for your airfare online, you should have printed your
E-ticket.
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 You are seated in dash 30, seat B.
Row 30.
Row 30.
Okay, perfect. I thought somebody from India who's into the metro, trains will say, compartment.
That's not me. That's not me, guys.
Okay, that's not you. That only the murkiest room is Shweta M's room. Nothing else. Dash will be served before we begin the in-flight movie.
Refreshment.
Refreshments, of course.
No, I mean, for a judge, it is too much, right? I mean, to answer. In the unlikely event of a water landing, Dash can be found underneath your seats.
Twist.
Life vest.
Life vest, yeah.
Please fasten your
Seat belts. While the seat.
keyboard. Okay. In about 5 minutes, we will get ready to dash runway.
Taxi out.
Taxi out.
No, I don't know.
Or taxi in.
It has to be in.
Okay, you're landing.
Landing is in. Okay, taxi in. You're about to go to a large pocket of
We are about to go through a large pocket of
turbulence. Turbulence.
yes, turbulence. Okay. I think that's about it. I just wanted to wrap it up before Sudarshan comes in so that we have some time for him. Yes. Now we quickly go on. Let me introduce to each of you. Good evening, Ravindra, Toastmaster Ravindra, all the way from Qatar. Thank you so much for
everyone. Good evening, Anita madam.
Thank you so much. We have so many. Okay, we have Tina here. Hi, Tina, from all the way from Showstoppers Kitchen. We have Chandra here from New Start. We have Seema joining in from Showstoppers. And of course, Amita is also from Showstoppers. We have Ajita from, I don't know, XYZ, so many clubs. But she is very well known to be one of the most esteemed judges and chief judge in the recent past as well. So we thank you for being here. Yes. Now let me introduce my cabin crew to each of you. Now the cabin crew there's been a little problem in the cabin crew, so we had to like change the roles and shift the assignments. So we have, according to the agenda, the word master is still our flight attendant, Toastmaster Jisha. And she will also be handling the grammarian role today because word master and grammarian go together. The Toastmaster Chetna, flight attendant, is not available today. She had to urgently leave for some emergency in personal life. So in her place, Toastmaster Narmin will be taking over. She's also going to do the R counter role. R counter role, I think we can rule out that. So no R counters, you can use as many filler words as you want today. We're just being very liberal. That's the discount you get for riding on our flight. And then we have our general evaluator, Toastmaster Raka. She's making note of everything. She's going to do the surveillance and give us the entire report, whether we reach the ISO standards or not. And then we have Toastmasters, we have the speakers, Toastmaster Susan and Toastmaster Shweta M. We have evaluators, Toastmaster Amita and Toastmaster Shweta Ajay. We have our table topics master, Toastmaster Manali, who's doing it as a maiden attempt today. And have I missed out anybody else? No. I think that's about it. Sudarshan, our educationist, who's going to talk to us about the importance of mentoring. He would be joining us a little late, but anyways, his thing is very last in the agenda. So I think, yeah, we're good to go. Let me now invite I'll start concentrating in my cockpit area. Sudarshan is here. I'll just say hi to him. Distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan, welcome.
Thank you very much.
The flight has just taken off. So,
good.
Yeah.
I managed to get onto a running flight.
I could see that. I mean, we almost lost you, but then yes, good. Yeah, I thought you jumped from the parallel flight onto our flight.
I did something like that. I actually did something like that. I jumped from Microsoft Teams to Zoom.
Zoom. He zoomed into the Zoom. Okay, fine. So now let me hand over the runway, the flight to our flight attendant, Toastmaster Jisha Sanal to do the word master role. Jisha?
Woman.
I hope all of you can see my screen. So here come the idiom of the day. It's not the word, it's the idiom. Let's see whether the idiom is interesting. Moving ahead, I hope all of you know what is an idiom. Though it comes as a phrase, the literal meaning is totally different from that. We have to go for the figurative meaning. And yes, here is the description. I'm not reading and taking up the time. Let's right away move ahead. For the idiom over here, I'm going to give a visual clue. I want all the members over here to just try to figure out what could be the idiom from the picture. Yeah, here is the visual clue. Can someone try and give me the guesswork what the word could be or the idiom it could be?
The word could be cockpit, but
Yeah, but not cockpit, but maybe a part of it can be taken.
some clue?
A part of cockpit can be taken as the clue.
Pit?
Yeah.
Pitch?
Move ahead. Come on,
Altitude?
everyone.
Altitude?
No. Think this is an idiom. So from that point of view,
Yeah.
Pit for fall. Pit for.
see, you just see the hands also. No action.
No action.
They're relaxing. Seems the pilots are relaxing.
Is it safe landing?
No. They're obviously, they have to navigate.
Dig a pit for.
What's it, Sveta?
Dig a pit for.
No. Any idea?
No, no, it's not. It's not ringing the bell.
Bottomless pit.
Leave pit. Okay, just leave pit. They're just sitting simply, nothing else to do, relaxing, but still it is moving.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so it's an idiom over here. We can all see that very clearly. That just a minute. Yeah, it's on automatic pilot. This as an idiom, we all know what exactly is the task behind it. Basically, they will put the engine or device on a mode which actually do function without any active involvement of a human. So when it turns out to be an idiom, that is from the figurative point of view, it is very clear. We also perform some of our actions without any mental involvement. That means the mind involvement. We all know where there are various kinds of action. That's how the figurative use of on automatic pilot can be used. So you can see the details over here. Moving ahead, we can see the meaning, that is functioning in an unthinking or reflexive manner to do something automatically, which we regularly do. So on that kind of scenarios, we use this idiom. So we use the idiom to use that colorful, to make our language even more colorful. Okay, so here you can see the synonyms for the idiom on automatic pilot, that is distracted, absent-minded nature, or maybe doing in a blank manner. So these are some of the synonyms. Some of the sentences you can see over here. By the second week of data entry, I feel like I was on automatic pilot. Making bottles, changing diapers, and putting the baby to sleep were all challenging at first, but now I feel like I'm doing it all on autopilot. So it's all clear how this can be easily singing into the sentence. So now it's a session for the round robin. Who is ready? If anybody can take it up voluntarily.
Ina's ready.
Yeah.
The minute Jisha said about autopilot, the only thing that came to my mind is the first year of parenthood is always spent on autopilot.
Yeah. That's right.
Fantastic.
Great.
Okay, I'll take a go here. Toastmaster Ajita is known to be on autopilot mode all her Toastmasters journey. I have noticed her, appearing and disappearing in different clubs, doing so much of service. Over to
Wow,
you.
that is actually an information for us also. Great. Now ahead, come on, I would like to hear more sentence. Everyone just put in your
Morning
yes,
routine is like an autopilot mode for me. I would be
absolutely.
fully in an automatic pilot mode in the morning times while in kitchen.
Okay, I think most of us are like that. Ahead, anybody? Toastmaster Ravindra, would you like to try?
Good evening. Any routine work that I do is all routine work is a autopilot mode. So
Yes.
I would like to do something which doesn't require autopilot mode. So I'll look for that.
That's nice. Toastmaster Amita, yes. Would you like to add it?
Thankfully, being in Toastmasters is not like on being in autopilot mode because it triggers.
Mute. I think it got mute.
Okay, could you hear me?
Yes. No problem.
Okay.
Looks like your mic is on autopilot mode all the time.
Toastmaster
I'll repeat.
Sweta, would you like to try?
Yes. These days, writing exams, I'm zoning out too much and I feel my brain is on autopilot mode.
Yeah. That is
I think
also
Anita should
absolutely.
reply. Should repeat. She's just going to repeat.
Yeah. Yes.
Thankfully, being in Toastmasters is not like on being in on autopilot mode because it triggers so much of creativity within me.
True. Anybody would like to add in more, or shall I end it here? Toastmaster Ajita, would you like to try one sentence?
Whenever people ask me sudden surprise questions, my mind goes in autopilot and my mouth gets muted.
That's also wonderful usage. We can actually think like that. That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
In
Over
India,
to the
yeah, in India, most of the auto rickshaw drivers are on autopilot mode, which they should not be.
yeah.
That only Indians who traveled in the recent past will remember.
True. So thank you so much. Over to the tier modi of the day, Toastmaster Anita.
Thank you so much, Flight Attendant Toastmaster Jisha. We move on now. Now is the preparation project prepared speeches segment. The segment where we are trained our cabin crew to come and give flight-related speeches or otherwise. Today we have two trainees coming in and giving us details of their prepared speeches. We have, to begin with, we have Toastmaster Susan taking off with her second speech. I think it's L1P2, the second speech. And to evaluate her, we have evaluator Toastmaster Amita. Amita, can you just unmute yourself and read the objectives?
The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. All the best, Toastmaster Susan.
The time limit?
The time limit is 5 to 7.
Toastmaster Narmin, are you ready? 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Toastmaster Susan, can you see Toastmaster Narmin? She's doing the timing.
Let me pin her.
Yes. And if you go overboard with your speech, we're going to mute you.
Okay. Hopefully no this time. Okay. Let me start. Am I audible? Yes? Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today, I'm going to speak about the topic failure to success. I have heard many people saying that failure is a key to success. Today, I wish to share the story of my best friend. She used to, this was when we used to study in our plus two in school days. So the public exams were over, and I asked my friend, "How did you do your exams, dear?" And she was like, "It was okay. I did it pretty well. It was really going good." So then I was like, okay, that then we can enjoy. Now it's going to be vacation. So what we did was we went for movies, we did shopping, we went for parties, get-togethers. We had a great time with friends and had a lot of fun. But her mother kept saying to her, "You know what? Your results have not yet come. Only if you get a score a real good marks, you will get admission in a good college." And then both of us would look at each other and just say, "Never mind, enjoy life." And we started having fun again. After this, the vacation was slowly coming to an end. And then the results were about to come. We started waiting for the results to come. Finally, that big day, anticipated day came, and the results were published in the school website. So she went to an internet cafe to find out her results. And then when she saw the results, she nearly plummeted. She was taken aback because her results were far much lower and poor compared to what she expected. She bursted into tears. She was like, how will I face my mother and my family? And she was so upset. Going home, she completely changed into a new person. She would not even, she completely started avoiding people. She would not want to sit with her parents as a family together. She completely avoided phone calls from her friends and relatives. She liked to spend time alone. She closed the door and kept sleeping in a single in her room. This is all because she met with this failure, you know. Then what happened was like, uh, I just tried to visit her, but she kept thinking. She was like, okay, we'll see later. It's okay. We can meet later. She started even avoiding me. So I felt very bad. But then she started, thoughts were different. She started thinking, how will I ever face people? How will I ever get admission to a new best college? This is the greatest failure. I should have listened to my mother. I should have listened to my parents. Why did I spend time enjoying life? All these negative thoughts came to her mind. Finally, I got an opportunity to meet her. Then I started to encourage her. It's okay. This is the first failure. We just let us think how we can overcome this failure. Then she started rethinking. How can I overcome this failure? What should I do to get out of this situation? And then she said, she was thinking, I think I should concentrate, focus more on my studies. I will work smarter. I will work harder, she thought. When she started thinking like this, she developed a confidence in her, and she never gave up. She joined her degree and secured good marks and came out in flying colors. After that, she joined her master's degree, did her master's degree, completed it with distinctions, and she surprised her family and friends. When this happened, her confidence boosted again. She bounced back from her failure to success. She started flying like a butterfly. Now, you know what? She is she's working in a leading company. It's green already. She's working in a leading company as a great. She's working in a leading company and she's holding dual citizenship in a great best part of the world, juggling work and family together. Do you know why I'm sharing this story? It is to convey that failure happens sometimes in one or the other situations in life. At some point, we may get, disturbed. We get to take wrong decisions and go to wrong turns. We may get flummoxed. But then failure is a part of our life. We have to learn to face it and overcome it. We should not stop thinking what others think about. We should stop thinking what others think about us and start to think how to combat the issue. Severe failure can cause even depressions. When I was in school, I wanted to learn to ride bicycle. This was again another story where I compelled my parents to buy me a cycle. I was very happy, but every time I ride the cycle, I was very much upset and my hands were shaking, legs were trembling. I even met with accidents 2, 3 times, but this did not stop me. I kept on trying and finally mastered this art of riding the bicycle. So what I want to share with you, my dear friends, is that you can fail, you can fall, but you should not quit. You should continue your journey. You should rise up, get help, and move ahead. You're far too stronger than what you really feel. Set your dreams high and chase it. Over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Susan. We move on now. Now let me call upon the second speaker for the day, Toastmaster Shweta. Toastmaster Shweta's evaluator is Toastmaster Shweta Ajay. And Toastmaster Shweta Ajay, can you please read out the objectives of her speech and the title of her speech?
Good evening, everyone. My target speaker, Toastmaster Shweta, is doing her L2P1 Understanding Your Leadership Style. The speech title is Being a Leader That Important? The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. And the purpose statement is the purpose of the project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles, or the purpose of the speech for the member to share some aspects of his or her primary leadership style or discuss the leadership styles in general. Over to Toastmaster Shweta. Best wishes.
Thank you.
Timing is 5 to 7. Timer, please note.
Let me just pin the timer 1 minute.
Just to confirm, it's 5 minutes green, 6 minutes yellow, 7 minutes is red, right?
Right.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Toastmaster Shweta. Yes. You ready?
Those were the days when we used to sing. Mustafa, Mustafa, don't worry, Mustafa. And whenever a friend is in need, we used to sing, Kiska hai ye tumko, intezar mein hu na. But this would last only in the grounds. There was a time when in school, when we were elected as the class representatives, the first time ever a leadership task was given to us. We used to look forward for it. We used to campaign for ourselves and make fake friends all over the class. This was the first time when we would handle a class full of 40 students. And it was quite important for us because being a class representative gives you freedom to do whatever you want. You can talk, but your friends cannot. You can write the people, you can write the names of those who are talking on the board, but you can talk. You can do whatever you can. You can change your place, but your friends cannot. And then something else happens in the school. Okay. Yeah, that is when a girl from the school passes by and everybody sings Chand mera dil, Chandni ho tum. It's none other than the head girl of the school. Like she is the class representative for the whole school. This was our first introduction to something big in leadership. There was so much awe and attention to the class to the head girl that everybody used to look up to her. That I thought was leadership, getting awe and attention from people. But then I've grown up and I've started taking up projects. I've taken up a project when I was 18 years old. I had to face a lot of hardships because I was one of the teammates and I couldn't manage being in a team. It was a group full of boys and I was the only girl. I am a mechanical engineer and I have to deal with boys. It was so uncomfortable for me coming from a girls' school and falling right in a class full of boys. I thought I was burning down to ashes. I didn't know. And then something happened. I gave my first interview to a college team who builds all-terrain vehicles. I passed all the 4 rounds and then I was selected. I was one among the 2 girls selected to a team of 27 boys. Now, this was quite a challenge for me. My seniors, so-called leaders, they were quite rude because they thought girls cannot do anything. They thought if you teach something to girls, they take it and they go away and they don't apply it to your team. This is what I've seen in the first 2 years of my project. I was treated bad. We were not allowed to stay back in the college after the college hours. So they thought there's no point in teaching these girls anything. But then we, on our own, we learned something, and then it was the 3rd year. I became the system head in the team. I had to manage 3 juniors and 1 batchmate. Can you all imagine? I am bossing over somebody from my batch. I thought this was my chance to show them all. Phoenix from the ashes, the rising of the phoenix from the ashes. This was my moment. And then I had to make my mark. Boys used to work at night. All my juniors were boys. I was the only team lead. All my juniors were boys. Everybody used to work at night. They designed, analyzed, manufactured, and then fabricated the whole all-terrain vehicle. I had to teach them designing. That was my part. But every day you see, it was new. The night passed away and the morning came. Something new happened in the room. I thought everything is going out of my hands. I had to do something to get this under my control. Then my style of leadership was coaching. It was to show them that they could do whatever they want. I gave them a free hand. I gave them full potential to do whatever they wanted. I taught them. I took their ideas. I gave positive statements, and it was so helpful on one-on-one meetings. This coaching was going on well. This made me realize that if this continues, my juniors cannot adapt to sudden changes, and I would be a bad leader if my juniors cannot adapt to sudden changes. Then, though I'm very professionally attached to them, I feel they are my kids. I have to be a little rude. Then, my type of leadership changed to bureaucracy. I had to be authoritative to them because our all-terrain vehicle, it's a race. So whenever there's a breakdown, I had to give them instructions and they had to follow it no matter what. My authority had to be shown. There, my leadership style was partly bureaucratic and partly authoritative. Now, being so hard on your juniors is not too good. They might hate you too. There, when that situation came, I became alluristic. I used to talk to them in person. I used to ask them what's happening in your life. Is everything okay? I used to tell personal anecdotes of my seniors, and then I used to ask them personal anecdotes on how we can improve and everything on a very professional level. I used to make it a point that professional is different from personal. No personals when you're working. Now, if you ask me, is leadership important? Yes, it is important. I faced a lot of hardships when I had leaders around me. I never wanted to work, but then I never wanted to show them that girls back off when you're being harsh to them. But girls make a mark when they are put into hardships. Yes, leadership is important. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shweta. Timer, I think, Nadmin, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
But I think you lost track of the time.
No, I did not.
What is the time? Okay, can we have the timer's report?
Sure. For Toastmasters Susan George, 7 minutes and 5 seconds. For Toastmaster Sweta, 7 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. Were you showing the virtual cards? The timer cards?
Yes,
I
she
was.
was.
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, we move on now. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shweta and Toastmaster Susan. I'm going to launch the polls now, since both of them qualify. Yes. Now, to take this further now, we have a very exciting segment. Now, before we move on to the segment, dear passengers, this is a low budget but high quality airlines. In a few minutes, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to sell you hot or cold drinks, as well as dinner or a snack. Alcoholic drinks are also available at your own residences with our compliments. If you see the cabin crew and some passengers munching on some snacks or having coffee, and while the others are not, it is for the only reason that they have not paid for it. Please register with us to avail such snacks in your future meetings or flights with us. Now we move on to launch yet another powerful segment of this flight, which is known as the impromptu speeches, the table topics. Now, they're not topics which are going to be kept on your tray table, which is very dirty, but we're going to talk about topics which you're going to talk about. Okay, so to take this further, we have our maiden table topics master, Toastmaster Manali. Toastmaster Manali, are you ready?
Yes, Toastmaster Anita, I'm ready. So I can start.
Yes, and the timings you need to give the rules also about it. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, so I'll start. Am I audible properly?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is an announcement to declare the table topic session which I'm taking. The captain has asked to turn on the fasten seat belt sign, and now currently we are crossing a zone of turbulence. I would request everyone to return to your seats and keep your seat belt fastened. Everybody should unmute yourself and I will announce the turbulent topics. So you should remember the green light will be at 1 minute and amber light will be 30 seconds and red light will be at 2 minutes. So grace period of 30 seconds will be before you unfasten your seat belt. So I want timekeeper Narmin to note the time report for each of our passengers. So I can start now. Is it
One
fine?
second. There is a small, I think, confusion there. It is 1.5 minute, and 2 minutes. One is green, 1.5 is amber, and 2 minutes is red.
Okay.
And grace time of 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. So I can start, right?
Yes, please.
So my first question will be to Amita. So I would, Amita, you are here. Amita, you there?
So we'll leave the evaluators out. Maybe they're making note.
Okay. So I can ask Tina. Tina, are you there?
Yes, just give me 2 minutes. I was still walking down the aisle. I just go back to my seat.
Okay. So meanwhile, we can first start with Raka.
Chetna has not taken a role, so you can ask her.
Yeah, okay. Chetna, can I start with you? Are you there?
Hello. Yes, yes, I'm absolutely here.
Okay. So my question to you is, do you prefer watching movies or reading in a flight? What is your preference?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Your question is, do I prefer reading in a flight or watching movie?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Well, okay, given a chance, the flight that I'm traveling with is equipped enough to give me the movie options. I would like to go with movie. Yeah, because I'm not much of a reader, truly speaking. And I think in that time, I'm not much convenient with that turbulence and all reading into that. And the kind of reader I am, I don't think I would be able to finish my book. I would like to watch maybe a light movie or something. And I also like to, when that screen shows up, I like to see the route that we are going through. Generally, the screens which are there, they show us. So I definitely switch on to the screen which is available, and I look through the route that we are passing by and what we are catering to. So I would be a kind of movie person. I would go for a movie instead of a book. Yeah.
Okay.
Over to you.
Thank you, Chetna. Even I am the same person, so I like what you said, because if I read something, I go into autopilot mode. What that way? Okay. So my next question will be to I can ask Jisha. Is that fine?
I think Tina is here.
Okay. Yeah. Tina, you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the must things you carry for your flight journey?
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Okay, so my packing, a modus operandi for packing my bag is dated or is divided into pre-parenthood and post-motherhood. So pre-motherhood, my bag used to be chock-a-block with books to read, magazines, my cosmetics, and all the essentials that I will need for a long haul or a short haul flight, whichever it is. But post motherhood, now my bag has also become bigger, and also the items in the bag has also increased because I have two young girls. So every time I try to pack separate bags for them and try to convince them to carry the bags, but finally what happens is, end of the day, it turns out that I will be carrying their bags and my bag. So I've learned the hard way. I've stopped asking them to carry bags. Instead, I've started carrying all those things also in my bag. So I have the water bottles or the juice bottles or snacks or maybe books, which was all the raunchy novels and the interesting magazines that I used to carry went flying out of the window, and now I have books that says about Paw Patrol and coloring books and with a lot of coloring materials and things to make sure that my kids are preoccupied on the flight, and also to keep my sense of my mental health for the short haul or long haul flight. That is what now I pack in my bags, thanks to my little girls. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. It's with I think everyone who have small kids, so I think I can relate to your story. So next I can ask Raka. You there?
Yes, yes, tell.
Raka, you there? I can ask you.
Yes, yes. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. So my question to you is, how do you react when your flight is delayed, missed, or cancelled?
Good evening, everyone. If the flight is delayed, I not have much issues. I'm going to cancel That's getting means definitely I will become panic. Most of the time we used to travel, like this happens even one time actually, when we were in India, that flood happened to our, it was affected in our place, South India. So this was a sudden notice. What we got is like this flight got cancelled because the this airport shut down in short notice. So it was the time with, like, both of us were working, and most of the time we used to take the full yearly leave at that time. So we realized that that should not happen at the next time, because now we realize, like, if it is getting cancelled also, then we should have a bonus of 10 days leave ahead or something. Otherwise, this is like, okay, both of our company was so good, they understood that situation, and nothing happened to our work. So that situation, we got panic, but it got cancelled, and it was like delayed for more than 1 week or 2 weeks. That was the situation. So usually if it is getting cancelled, or if it is getting like delayed, most of the time we will not get much, we will not be much panic. But definitely if it is getting cancelled, that news, definitely most of the passengers will get panic, because most of the time we will have the short time in our hand, and we will be having our own plans. So definitely it will make us panic. Over to you, Toastmaster. Oh, sorry, TT Master.
Yeah, thank you, Raka. For me, I always wish my flight got delayed or land over to some stop so that I can get a hotel accommodation. One of my friend got it. So my because she used to stay, they make her stay in 5-star hotel. So this never happened to me. So I always wish this might happen to me. So let's see in the future. So my next question will be with Seema. Seema, you there? Hi, Seema, you there? Okay, I can move on with Ravindra. Yeah, Ravindra, you there?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. So for if you have option to travel in a flight with your favorite person, whom would you choose?
Well, good evening, everyone. My favorite person will be my family. Mm, I would like to travel with my family. That's the best thing I should be doing. I mean, I wish also to a location. And in fact, I was just let me refer to the last point you said. I also enjoy the when the flight gets cancelled. I enjoy the stay that they give. In fact, it happened to me in Dubai once when we are going to US. I think then we got a 2 day stay in Dubai, and one day we enjoyed that roaming in the city, and we had a wonderful time. In fact, our holiday started from Dubai itself, so it's even before reaching US. So that was a wonderful time I had. So of course, especially yes, of course, with the new persons, you can't do much. So I would like to travel with my family. As much many as people have along with your family, that's good. But only I traveled with close family only. I wish some lottery comes and I will take all my entire family with me, and then maybe that will be my wish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that's very nice, Ravindra. I think I'm not sure whether I will choose my family or not, because we have that mother-in-law option also with family. So it's a kind of confusing for me. So I have not think that way. What will I choose? So I'll get back to you. What will I choose? Okay. So my next question would be to, I think, whom I can take.
We are running out of time.
Okay, yeah, all right, okay. Then I can over to you, TM Toastmaster Anita.
Thank you so much. I think our maiden cabin crew needs a big round of applause, because she's really done it so professionally well. Thank you so much. And I would also want to tag her as the humor queen for the humor that she had proposed last time. Someday I think we need to listen to how she wants to look hot once again, right? Okay, let's move on now. Now is the most important segment. We have the evaluators evaluating the speakers. So let me call the evaluator number 1, who is going to evaluate our speaker number 1, Toastmaster Susan, Toastmaster Amita. Toastmaster, before that, yeah. Pilots also can make mistakes. Can we have the timers report for the table topics speakers?
Yes, ma'am. Toastmaster Chetna, 54.92 seconds. Toastmaster Tina, 1 minute and 49 seconds. Toastmaster Rekha, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Toastmaster Ravindra, 1 minute and 6 seconds. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'll launch the polling in a short while. Over to you, Toastmaster Amita.
Hello, am I audible clearly?
Yes, you're audible and visible.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Susan, for taking off on the flight 0021 Air Rendezvous with L2P1 certification titled Failure to Success. You rode down the runway and had a smooth takeoff with a beginning with a quote, "Failure is a key to success." Light refreshments and beverages were served in the form of anecdotes and dialogues between you, your friend, and then your mother, and then the friend and her mother. The mother giving her advice in form of warning to your friend. The landing was also smooth, just like the takeoff, with a piece of advice. Let failures come, but one should not quit. And you made me feel strong with a bit when you mentioned you are far more stronger than you know. I felt there was a bit of turbulence which could be improved with the use of oxygen mask and life vests. You had a beautiful script, and I feel there was a lot of scope to enact it, like the dialogues between you and your friend, or the mother warning. You could have some actions. It would be possible to have these dialogues and the enactment if you were standing and giving your speech. You could have positions. So along with your voice variety, we could see the characters as well, rather than just hearing them out. Secondly, you could show positions. Okay, I believe you were given advice to use dialogues and anecdotes that you have done. I applaud you for that. But yeah, as I said, you could have shown positions so that we could see the characters as well. To summarize, beautiful trained cabin crew that you are, with beautiful script, taking into consideration the previous feedback. In case of turbulence, you could try standing firm, and so that you have space for articulating gestures and dialogues. Overall, you are a very superb crew that the Rendezvous team has. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amita. Can we have the second evaluator on board, Toastmaster Shweta Ajay?
Hello, everyone. Fellow passengers and flight attendants. Here I am today to witness Toastmaster Shweta's leadership style and understand leadership style in general. I had a lovely time today listening to your speech as you started off with a lovely song which grabbed everybody's attention. I should say a big wow for it. So my job starts now in evaluating your speech based on the content and the delivery. So I'll first jump into the part that I liked more about your speech today. You had a very good opening, starting with a song, and which grabbed everybody's attention, as I told before, and a good story that we all could relate to during our college days. So that's a real good start. I liked your confidence and the energetic approach Even the hand gesture added more value to a speech like this. I really wondered, can a project like this, Understanding Your Leadership, be delivered in such a beautiful way? A big kudos to you. Coming to the part which I felt you could have improved a little bit more is, I felt like, yeah, you could have practiced a little bit more. Somewhere I noticed that you're just reading through or missed some part, but then with more and more practice, delivering the speech before in this platform, delivering the speech somewhere in your home, by practicing more, you could have done wonderful approach towards the speech. So I would like to summarize my evaluation. You you had a very good story. You had a very good opening, and even you have always you have shown what all leadership styles you have gone through, and I would also like to add one suggestion to that, which is like you should have told us which leadership style you found it as more effective, or you would say that you would use it in your future as well. So best wishes for you, and keep raising your bar by taking your next project by incorporating more humor as you did now, and having more practice so you could do the best in all your projects. Thank you so much, and over to Toastmaster of the Day.
I think our Captain Toastmaster Anita, where are you? Are you on autopilot mode? I think we all passengers and cabin crew need to just knock at the cockpit, all of you. Toastmaster, yes, she's back.
I'm sorry.
So
See,
we are safe.
pilots are also human beings, you know. So we also fall asleep, especially on the flights. Sorry for that. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Who was the last speaker? Okay, yeah, Toastmaster Sweta. Thank you so much for your speech. No, sorry, evaluation, right? Yeah, okay. Can we have the timers report now, Toastmaster? Who is the timer? Yeah, Toastmaster Narmin.
The report, evaluator Amita, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Evaluator Sweta, 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Can you just repeat that? My Siri just got launched and I'm listening, he said. So.
No worries. Evaluator Amita, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Evaluator Sweta, 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Okay, so it looks like Toastmaster Amita was just about to fall off the flight, but then managed to stay there. So we won't have polls because it's a straight cut selection. Yes, now we will move on, but there's not going to be a poll for the evaluators segment, so be clear about that. One good tip before I take you all further is let me mention here, how many of you people keep calling for the air hostess, the men folk especially, and the women folk, if you love that, the charismatic, tall, dark, handsome guy coming there to serve food. You keep calling him and saying, I want water, I want water. How many of you all ask for water on the cabin, on the flight? Thank you, Jisha. That's okay, Raka. Oh, okay. So this is for all those who've taken both their arms up. The airplane water is riddled with bacteria. A report from the Wall Street Journal reveals that bacteria, including the bacteria which sits inside the egg, which we so much relish, that is also there. The salmonella, the staphylococcus were found in airplane water and much more. Okay, so shell out those extra bucks, buy a bottle of water in the airport. Don't be conjuice over there. Just pick up your bottles and take them and feel nutritious and healthy. So now we take this further, and who's coming next? I've woken up from my slumber. Who's coming next? Any idea? Okay, let's see if this person who's coming in next is going to make the flight turbulent or make our lives entertaining inside the flight. Okay, so I have a very, very short and humble introduction to this person here. I think we're going good on the time. Now, this person has been a Toastmaster within the flight, outside. He also finances the flights and the flight companies because he works with banks, with bank. And he's been a Toastmaster for 7 years, and he's served in various ExCom roles. And he's also served as the area director and district CGD club quality chair. He has become a distinguished Toastmaster just last year, and he's already on his way for his second distinguished Toastmasters. He submitted it late, the first one. So he's almost there with his second DTM very soon. In terms of professional life, he says that he's a boring banker. But for us who are always on lookout for loans, he is a very interesting person with a penchant for storytelling and loves spending time listening to and telling stories. Now, how can a person who loves telling stories and listening to stories be a boring person? Right? So I'm hoping and I'm sure that the next segment is going to be very entertaining. And all those people who could not make it on time for their roles, like Chetna, have just run back into the runway only to catch up on this part of the segment. Yes, yes, Tina, you said something. Okay, fine. Yeah, she's also agreeing with what I said. Now, so let's take this further. Distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan Sheshadri is all the way coming in. He's just jumped from one flight to another flight. He was a Toastmaster of the day in the SSY flight today in, I think, post-noon session. And he's such a humble person. Like all through, he's been very enthusiastic in supporting us by saying that I can do an education role if needed for a new club like yours. So here he is. The moment I've proposed this to him, he said okay to it, and we have him here. Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan Sheshadri is going to enlighten us on the importance of of mentoring in Toastmasters journey. Okay, distinguished Toastmaster Sudarshan Sheshadri, the runaway, the flight, everything is all yours. Take over.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Kindly fasten your seat belts, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We shall take off in the northwesterly direction, gain an altitude of 36,000 feet, and cruise. It shall be my endeavor to ensure that the journey is turbulence-free and gives you a lot of pleasure. So without further ado, let us begin. How many of you here today have a mentor? Can I see a show of hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. I'm extremely pleased to see that. I am going to take the next 20 minutes of your time in trying to explain what is mentoring according to me, why do I believe that it is extremely important, and what is the role of a mentor and what is the role of a mentee. So to start with, let me share my screen, and just by a show of hand, let me know if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible? If somebody can confirm that to me.
Yes.
Perfect. I see something in you. This is a line that has been made famous by Dhananjay Ticharachi in his World Championship winning speech. But the very fact of mentorship is that someone is able to see something in you. Or as someone great once put it, a lot of people have gone further than what they thought they could just because somebody else saw that potential in them. Let me tell you a small story here. A lot of you might know, and some of you might not, there used to be a world champion tennis player by the name of Andre Agassi. Andre Agassi burst onto the scene at the age of 12 when he first started beating people who are 5 to 6 years older than him. As he kept going through his professional tennis career, he reached a point where he was not winning as much as he wanted to. There was absolutely no problem with his skill. There was absolutely no problem with his strength or any of those things. There was a problem between his ears, and he could not figure out for the life of him how can he overcome that problem. He decided that he needed a coach. So he went to the best possible tennis coach. The coach worked with him, took millions of dollars from him, no dice, no results, no Wimbledon, no French Open, no Australian Open, not even Cincinnati Open. So he was at that point where he was deciding between should I give up my career or should I continue and try my best. At that point in time, he met a person who was just coming out of jail. He met a person who went to jail for beating up somebody, but he had been a professional bodybuilder and a wrestler in his previous life. He went to him and they happened to meet at a bar when Andre was basically trying to drown his sorrows. And that person turned out to be Jill Reyes, who told him, I don't know tennis at all. I don't know the front of the racket from the back. But the one thing that I know is how to win. And to win, your body and your mind need to work together. He became his mentor. The first training that he sent him for on the sand dunes of Nevada, he said, go run up this sand dune and come down. And you need to do it in 22 seconds. The first time Andre did it, he took 4 minutes, 22 seconds to 4 minutes. By the 10th time he did it in 19 seconds. That and that alone propelled him to win Wimbledon, where he had been thrown out of the tournament for wearing pink shorts, to the fact that he won the tournament. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the power of a mentor is. And if this does not motivate you to go out and find a mentor, I'm not sure what else will. But the fact of the matter is, a mentor and a mentee are two sides of the same coin. And let me give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. You might be aware of some of them. You may not be aware of some of them. I don't know how many of you know whose pictures these are. Anyone? If you can unmute and tell me.
Aristotle.
Absolutely right. It is not Aristotle. It is Socrates and Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great had a mentor in the form of an educator. Just imagine this relationship. An educator and a warrior. A man of words and a man of blades. They worked together. Alexander the Great reached world dominion at the ripe young age of 24. That is what a mentor does to you. If that is not a great example, look at this. A poet and a media mogul. A lady who writes poems which are integral to our lives, to a lady who sells words, images, and pictures. The two of them have worked together. In every single interview, Oprah says, my mentor saw something in me which made me get to this career. From abject poverty to riches beyond imagination is what is the journey of Oprah. And the wind beneath her sails, Maya Angelou. Absolutely right. And this, to me, is the greatest example. Two people in the same field, same ambitions, same goals, freedom for India. One was a politician, another was a leader, but one was a mentor to the other. And innumerable number of pages of history have clearly shown us that this relationship is where both of them flourished. Why am I showing you all of these pictures? There is a reason for it. When you have a mentor in your life, it automatically transfers the responsibility of your growth and shares it between two people. And the other person does not expect anything in return while providing you the benefits of his or her vision, clarity, and expertise. But many a number of times, your mentor may not even be from the same field, may not even be relevant to what you're trying to do, but they see the potential of success in you. And as a mentee, what is your role? Your role is very simple. Ask and you shall receive. The Holy Book says that. And that's precisely what happens in a mentor-mentee relationship. When you are willing to open yourself up, when you are willing to ask a question, you will invariably find that there is somebody who's willing to come back and give you 10 times more. Let me give you my own example. When I first started my Toastmasters journey, I started with SSI Toastmasters Club. At that point in time, our club had about 9 members. And after the third meeting, I thought, this is not for me. There is nobody here. Everybody is doing the same set of things in every meeting. Why should I even waste my time? That's when I went to my mentor and I said, and I didn't even know she was my mentor at that time. I just went to her and said, listen, you brought me into Toastmasters, but I'm not planning to continue. I don't find it value adding or enriching at all. Thank you, but I'm out. I'm not paying my fees. I'm not coming. All that she said to me was, Sudarshan, forget about all of this. Be selfish. Look at your own benefit. You are a person who speaks well. You can make a brand for yourself. I can see that in you. And by the end of that particular year, I was addressing a gathering of 3,000 people in Dubai at the World SME Forum. This was purely because of her motivation to me. So here I was on autopilot, knowing that I can speak well and I've managed big teams of people. Therefore, speaking comes to me naturally. I did not need anything. And here was she telling me, managing your team is totally different to managing an audience, presenting yourself. And from then to now, in the last 7 years, I have addressed innumerable number of gatherings. I have been a part of many different panel discussions across the world. And every time I do this, the last time I spoke at a TED event as a TEDx speaker, the first person that I called was Uma. I have done it. And she said, send me the recording. And she gave me 10 pointers on what I could do better. And this, imagine, at the end of a day where every single member of the audience came and patted me back and said, you did a great job. She gave me 10 points to improve. And that brought me down to earth and has kept me grounded. That is the beauty of what a mentor can do. But how did I find my mentor? Did the mentor come and say, hey, I am the mentor. Here is a badge saying I am a mentor. I will mentor you. Not at all. We were sitting next to each other in a Toastmasters meeting. I just turned around and I asked her, how many years have you been a Toastmaster for? Just these many words. How many years have you been a Toastmaster for? She laughed and said, I started at the age of 16. And I looked at her and said, yeah, you must be 25 now, right? So 9 years. She laughed and said, my daughter is probably your age. So I then sat back in my chair and said, oh, really? You don't look that way. She said, enough flattery. Tell me what you want. I said, no, I don't want anything. I'm just making small talk with you. And that's how the relationship started. What I'm trying to drive at is when you join a Toastmasters club, there are two things that are a given. Point number one, you get to speak and hear your own voice. And for those 7 minutes that you're on stage, nobody in the world can take away the mic from you. So which means all of us audience are tied to you. We are going to listen to you. We are there for you. Second, you get to pick and choose a mentor. And that is something that you owe it to yourself. You may be cat's whiskers. You may be a teacher. You may be a housewife. You may be a CEO. You may be a fresher. You may be a student. You may be a doctor. Doesn't matter. You have the option to get somebody to help you guide the path forward. And the second advantage is that you can have as many mentors as you want. There is absolutely no restriction. There is nothing that tells you that my club has assigned one mentor to me, therefore I will be with that person only. No, not at all. You can pick and choose your mentors from anywhere around you. That is something that you as members owe to yourself. Even at this stage, after 7 years of being in Toastmasters, I am actively seeking out mentors. I have a lady who's a mentor. She is 86 years old. She just recovered from COVID. She is in the UK. She's a Holocaust survivor. I happened to meet her on one online meeting in Poland. And from then on, I've been chasing her because she's an amazingly humorous speaker. And I go to her every time I want to infuse humor in my speech. Julia Cassettes is somebody that I look up to, and I just accidentally found her. You know, this is what mentoring can do to you, because she gives me such beautiful lines. She says, when I have to be humorous, I just take out my dentures and start speaking. And it automatically conveys humor. Now, this is what a mentor can do for you. And that is why I implore all of you, go out there and look for mentors. And you will find, you may find some that you like, you may find some that you don't like. But Now I've been speaking a lot about mentors and mentees and all of that. Let us look at how does the actual mechanism work. What does a mentor-mentee relationship mean? Somebody that manages the relationship, somebody that encourages you to do better than what you can and do better than what you think you can. Somebody that, if Anita Naidu is a great plants person, if somebody wants to grow a garden, go to Anita. She will tell you 10,000 tricks of how to grow something from nothing. But there is an inherent quality which is nurturing, and nurturing comes from within, and that's what a mentor will give you, training you. There are, after this meeting, I have 3 people's speeches that I have to listen to and help them improve because they have contest tomorrow. And this is something that I love doing, and that's why I will do. That is what a mentor does for you. The other thing is to help you organize. They will put a boundary for you within which you can operate, which means that you know what is the pendulum swing and therefore where does the center lie. And last but not least, there is a reciprocal relationship, because ultimately a mentor-mentee relationship is not a teacher-student, not a coach and protege. It is of equals. Both of them grow in the relationship. So how does it work? A mentor helps you challenge yourself. A mentor helps you dig deep into you and discover talents that you never had and inspire you to go out there and do much better than what you can. What are the few things that we need to really understand? Both the parties, mentor and the mentee, need to be utterly transparent. If you are not transparent, if you are holding back, you will not learn. It has to be like water flowing. You benefit from me, I benefit from you. That's when it works. There has to be constant conversation, whether it is WhatsApp, whether it is a phone call, whether it is face-to-face, whether it is grabbing a cup of coffee. And not all discussions are specific to what you want to achieve. There are so many discussions that I have with my mentors which talk about their school life, which talk about their home life, what did they eat for dinner, what is the plan for the weekend. Doesn't matter. But when there is dialogue, you see the body language, you understand facial expressions, and you're able to give inputs which are a lot better. There has to be faith, because the benefits will not be coming in today or tomorrow. It's a process, and process takes time. Just like when you plant a seed and pour some drops of water on it, it takes time for the seed to germinate, then grow, and then become a plant, and then a tree and give you fruits. It will take time. But that faith needs to be there. You have to look at building deep roots. A mentor-mentee relationship lasts sometimes for a lifetime. And that is where you need to give it time to deepen. And deepening of relationship happens only when there is trust and there is fun in the relationship. And ultimately, 1 + 1 in a mentor-mentee relationship does not always mean 2. It can be 1, it can be 11, it can be 111. That is for the 2 of you to put in and derive out of. And that, again, I'll give you an example where a Toastmaster mentor turned out to be somebody that was a game changer for me at work. When I came into Toastmasters out of accident, and at work, I could take the same relationship and present it and win a $1 million contract. And that becomes a big differentiator. And that's why I say it can even be 111. And that is something that one needs to really, really, really have faith in. This is a very, very busy chart, but this is what I think is the heart and soul of a mentor-mentee relationship. Primarily, there are only 4 things that a mentor and mentee need to do. Listen actively. What is active listening? Is when both of you are engaged, both of you are mentally tuned. So when I am speaking, the mentee is not trying to tell me or counter me or listening from the point of answering, just listening to me. And similarly, when the mentee speaks, I am not interrupting, I am not value adding, I am not correcting, I'm just absorbing. Take my time to ruminate and then give an answer. That is when a relationship is truly active listening. Then there is trust. When there is trust, you know that if a mentor is saying, no, I don't like this, or maybe remove that one line from your speech or change the title, there is trust. Immediately you know that, yes, this is being done for my benefit. Similarly, when the mentee is saying, no, I don't believe what you're saying is right, you need to trust the mentee to say that, yes, maybe you know better than I do in this particular manner. Always encourage, always motivate, always try to look for that one step after. I remember I was mountaineering and I had given up, completely given up. And I was willing to sit on that rock and rot, literally. When my tour leader came to me and said, Sudarshan bhai, bishtari bishtari chalo. That means in Nepalese, walk slowly. All he said was walk slowly and walk with me. He didn't do anything. He didn't give me any motivational talk. He didn't do anything. He just said, walk with me one step at a time. That was enough for me. Suddenly, from the end of the group, the 27th person to the 4th person to reach on top, I was. And that is where a great mentor really motivates. And last but not least, enable to form goals. Because the biggest challenge that everybody faces is, I want to be a DTM tomorrow. You will not be a DTM tomorrow, but you can be far better than what you are today in the next 10 days, 15 days, a month, 2 months, 3 months. When you have that timeline and there is somebody helping you to monitor that, you automatically flourish. Of course, everything else that is there on this chart is all true, is all valuable, is all valid. But to me, the center or the heart of a relationship is listening, trusting, encouraging, and identifying goals. These 4 things, if you do, a mentor-mentee relationship always succeeds. But above all this is theoretical, all this is something that you can read from any book, you can go to any management book, you can find all of this. To me, the most important thing in a mentor-mentee relationship is the fact that you can sit with them in utter silence. Don't need to speak, don't need to talk, and the other person understands your vibrations. Yet there is absolutely no attempt to coach you, guide you, or even motivate you. They just sit with you with a cup of coffee or with a cup of tea, or now that it is 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., maybe with a strong drink. You enjoy that silence. You enjoy that giving of thoughts and receiving of thoughts without words being spoken. And that is where a mentor and a mentee can make magic. And this is where you transcend transactions and get into a spiritual space where you're able to gain from the richness of the other person. Ultimately, a mentor, like the Zen gurus say, are people that arrive in your life at the time that it is right and for the reason that is right. All that you need to do is to be open, receptive, and willing to absorb. Once you are willing to do that, whether it is in Toastmasters or in real life, you will flourish when you find the right mentor. But what that means is, be on the lookout, always be prepared to receive, and always be willing to share. When you're doing that, you're automatically ready to be mentored and also be a mentor. So therefore, in conclusion, all I would say is, if you are willing to go the journey and stick with your mentor, you will find the benefits coming to you. It may not come today, it may not come tomorrow, but it will come to you. And if you are a mentor, my humble request is, stretch your hand out and be willing to pull them up from where they are. Again, as I conclude, I'll give you another story. I'm from Bombay. In Bombay, if you are working in the Bombay Stock Exchange, as a rookie, if you go there are those stockbrokers who will start with giving you what is known as a bhav copy, which is basically a list of all the shares that were traded the previous day with their prices. And from there, they will coach you. And the way they coach you is, they will take you to eat a sandwich. And at the sandwich stall, they will tell you, boss, don't do this, do this. Don't go to that chai shop, go to this chai shop. This chai wala will tell you what is happening with Reliance and what is happening with Infosys. That is a mentor's role. Be open and be willing to share. You will find a lot of mentees coming to you that way as well. Hope this was of some use to you. This is directional, because the actual presentation that I had is much longer, and Anita had told me I need to finish sharp at 7:30, and now I taken about 6.5 minutes extra, so apologies for that. I will conclude at this point in time. If after the meeting somebody wants to ask me questions, please feel free. At this stage, thank you very much for having me, and back to you, Anita.
I think we all need to unmute ourselves and give him a big round of applause. Big round of thanks, not applause, I should say. Thank you so much, DTM Sudarshan. That was quite a drive. I mean, lot more to ask you, lot more to talk and tell you over here. But I think we'll just, as you said, complete the routine, and then please stay on with us, because I'm sure each of us have got doubts. I have a leading question to ask as well. So we'll just complete the general evaluation round and come back to you. So let me just call upon our surveillance inspector, who's always on the in-flight mode, and Toastmaster Raka, to launch the R counter. And do we have the R counter? We don't have the R counter. To launch the grammarian and do the give us the surveillance report of how the flight has been so far. So let us call on board Toastmaster Raka-san. Raka, the runway, the flight is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anita. Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Toastmaster Raka, the Chief of Flight Evaluation Squad. Let me call our cabin crew member, Toastmaster Jisha, to present her grammarian report.
Thank you. Well, today my flight experience was totally in style, and the luxurious expressions and usages were putting me into the first class experience. That was the best thing I would like to tell over here. Well, but still, every time tuning in the fine details will pull our experience even more broad and the best. So let me get into it. The best things that I really liked were some of the nice expressions and phrases that has been used, like failure is the key to success, some words like anticipated, phrases like taken aback, flying colors, bounced back, juggling work and family, flummox, and even I could see some figures of speech were like butterfly, where simile was very well applied. Then metaphor, phoenix from ashes, where Toastmasters Veda compared herself, which was really nice. It's a race. So I really thank these speakers, whoever came up with this nice figures of speech, this wonderful vocabularies. Just very minor turbulences here and there. One air pocket where I felt was, instead of ride it could be road. So that's the smallest thing I could find, where I mean no major mistakes or no major problems. That was the beautiful thing, and it gave me enough leg room, and the feel was like getting that pre-moistened towel, that hot one, while we enter on board. That was the best experience when we actually sit in the flight, right? So I really loved that, and thank you so much for this beautiful experience. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jisha. So today, today as a general evaluator, let me tell you some of the points which will help us to improve our club meetings, regular club meetings. So actually, basically, takeoff and landing was very smooth. With our captain Toastmaster Anita, she explained it very well as a TMOD, and even in the beginning, actually, the networking was happened. It's very well, and surgeon at times. It is always like as always, she was done a wonderful job, and her effort was really appreciable. All the symbols, she always tried to implement one or another new things, actually, each club meetings. So today also she has done it in a different way by showing the symbols and trying to cope up with the theme, with the script, actually. So that is really appreciable, Toastmaster Shweta Ajay, our surgeon that time. And next, when we come to the presidential address, Toastmaster Jisha, she is always comfortable. She is very pleasing personality, and always giving us motivation by her own script, so that even that script was also very gelling with our theme. Next, when we move to Toastmaster Anita, she has done a wonderful homework on TMOD theme, and she has given us new information about the themes, and it was very good. And yeah, and good. So, and went to Word Master, Toastmaster Jisha. She has introduced the word, which is also like which is also active with the theme of the theme for today. So most of the I should like this most of the role players really need appreciation, because they have put their full effort for this to make this meeting a very grand success. And our Toastmaster Anita has she has informed every role players in advance about their roles, and it was very it was a very good theme actually. So and moving on to like I have two points which I would like to give as a feedback, just to it may help us in our future meetings. It is in the initial stage of our meeting that the meeting actually it was started little delayed, so that could have avoided, so the meeting could have started on time. And another point what I felt is the discussion between the flow of the meeting. Actually, when we are to interfere in between the meeting, that is actually losing the flow of the meeting. So that also could be avoided. Only with these 2 points, if we can notice in our future meetings, then it would be a better meeting, a better thing. So that's all. That's as a general evaluator, that is the only thing what I need to. Overall, the meeting was very conducted very well. And one more point what I need to notice is like it was a slight difference happened from the agenda which we have mentioned. The flow of the agenda was in the end of the agenda, it was actually there was slight changes. So but in the initial stage there was a Toastmaster of the day has already informed the members, like the timers change as well as the counter change. But the changes in the evaluation part, that agenda changes was not mentioned or it was not informed, so that also could have been done. So otherwise, it was an excellent meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster Sudarshan, for giving us a wonderful talk. And overall, this was a great meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Raka. Yes, the evaluation segment normally is taken care of or conducted by the General Evaluator. Today, I think I kind of messed it up. But you know, to err is human, and I'm just a human. So sorry for that, my bad. Yes, let's move on now. I have the results in place. I'm just going to share the results. And we are now almost planning for our descent. So I request, ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure get back to your seats, and your tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened. Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. Now, I'm just going to share the results. Yeah. The best table topic speaker today goes to the Showstoppers president, Toastmaster Tina. Big round of applause for her, please. Toastmaster Susan, our preacher, she is the best speaker for the day. Congratulations, Susan. And evaluation, we have not conducted a poll because it's been one-time disqualification. So we move on. Yes. Now what I will do is, we have a good 11 minutes to complete the meeting, to close the meeting. So I'm not going to close the meeting yet. At 8 o'clock sharp, I'm going to close the meeting. So I'll re-invite DTM Sudarshan so that we can open the question and answer bank with the bank person, right? Okay. Toastmaster DTM Sudarshan, are you ready to be
Yes,
attacked?
yes, I am ready.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, very much. So I'll start. I'll put myself on the automatic pilot mode to launch the questions. Yes. How difficult is it for a new Toastmaster to find a mentor for a Toastmaster who's new to in a new club, like Rendezvous is a rescued club, and not many senior Toastmasters are there for that matter. We are all in that mode of learning. So how do you think a new Toastmaster should go about finding a mentor? There is that link and all that, but for them everything is so new.
Correct. So the best way I have found, and this is purely my experience, is to attend meetings. So when you are a new club and a new Toastmaster, the best way for you to find out who speaks the way you want to speak and what are the things that happen well, you should try and attend a few meetings of other clubs. And there is absolutely no restriction. And now, especially after COVID, we are all doing it online. So we can flit from meeting to meeting. I'm not saying overdo it, but if you go to 4 or 5 clubs, you will hear a range of different types of speakers. And that way you will be able to identify what kind of a mentor you want. You may not find it, but you may actually know that, okay, this is not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And therefore, then you can come back and talk to your VP head and your president, who may then be able to find that kind of mentor for you through your club coach, through your club sponsor, through your area director. Those are the people that will help you and enable you to find relevant Toastmasters from within your area, within your division, etc. But because we are a global organization, there is absolutely nothing that stops you from participating in a Toastmasters meeting in Kolkata, in Karachi, in Kathmandu, in Warsaw, in Moscow, and finding mentors from there as well. So there are plenty of ways to do it.
I think, yeah, because it's online, yes, we should be thinking of moving out of the country as well.
Yeah.
There is a question in the chat box, if you can just go through it.
Yes, let me see. So Amita has asked a question saying if the mentors and the mentees are not in tandem, which means they're at loss of expression, etc., to talk to their mentors. Now, this is something which happens, and this will happen. It is very similar to, I think one of our speakers is a college student, Shweta. She talked about her hesitance to participate in a project with boys coming from a girls' school. Similar to that, there will be n number of hiccups at the beginning of a relationship, and that is to be expected. Turbulence when you take off is something that happens even if you are taking off on an A380 from Dubai airport. That will happen. That is a guarantee. If it does not happen, then there is a problem. Much like the COVID vaccine, if you take and you don't feel a little discomfort, that means that a vaccine is actually not working. So you need to have that little bit of pain, little bit of body ache, little bit of fever, which will tell you that yes, the vaccine is actually working. So that is perfectly all right. But the key is to be able to communicate that. So if you are finding it a little difficult with your mentor, just be open and transparent. Say that I did not like those words that you used, or maybe I did not understand what you're trying to say, or maybe the time that you're giving me is not sufficient. The mentor is also equally capable of saying, I told you to write your speech and bring it, you did not. So don't expect me to babysit you. And that is a fair request, right? Because if I am willing to put my time and effort to help you, and I expect you to come with something done, that is expected, that's mutual. But if that relationship is not working even after that, then the best thing to do is to cut your losses and move on. Don't waste your time trying to find the perfect solution within that imperfect relationship. Better is to move on and find somebody else. Okay, another question from Shweta. If we are assigned a mentor, can we change? The club assigns you a mentor in all good intentions. So my request and recommendation is to stick with that mentor at least for a 6-month period, because less than that, you don't have any benefit out of it. But at the same time, like I've been repeatedly saying, please go out and find your own mentors otherwise. So I was a member of this club called ESCF. The club had assigned 2 mentees to me. Both those mentees didn't find my kind of mentorship very useful to them. Absolutely no problem. They came back and told me after 6 months that no, we would like to find somebody else, and we've already found. But at the same time, there were 4 other members who wanted to be mentored by me. So they came and requested me saying, would you be our mentor? So there is no hard and fast rule here. See, this is not a paid relationship. This is not a coaching relationship. Therefore, the world is your oyster. Go find your own mentor. But inform your VP head at least, because that person has put in the effort. Like for example, in Rendezvous, Anita would have put in a lot of effort to identify who's the right mentor for who's the member. Your duty is to tell her at least, saying that, okay, this is not working for me. I'm going to find my own mentor. I don't think she will say no to it, but preferably it is a good idea to communicate back and say that this is what I want and this, therefore I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Anyone else? Okay, what can a mentor, what can a mentee expect from a mentor in a Toastmasters fraternity? Like, can the mentee go for every little thing to the mentor, or they need to do a little bit of homework on their own? What is it that a mentor can subscribe to when it comes to a new mentee?
Fantastic question. So this is where all expectations go wrong. A mentee is basically going to sharpen the knife, not to make the knife.
Yeah.
So the mentor is not going to write your speech. The mentor is not necessarily going to help you find roles. The mentor is not going to tell you go to Burj Toastmasters and don't go to XYZ Toastmasters Club. Those are not the roles that a mentor is expected to play. If a mentor is interfering in that level, it is better to take one step back from that kind of a mentor. The mentor will enable you to see your own speech or your own role in a different way. So for example, today I believe that TMOD was, no, you are the TMOD. I believe one of the role players, I think the table topics master, was doing her role for the first time ever. Now the mentor would have told that person, look at your role in a different way. Find something within you which is so different that you will be able to own the stage all by yourself. So let me give you an example. 3 years back at the Division B contest, I was the MC. And with me was one Toastmaster who was doing the MC role for the first time. She had been a Toastmaster for 2 or 3 years before that, but never done an MC role at a division level. Almost 500-600 people attending the meeting. She was panicking. Her mentor took the script that she had written along with me and completely transformed it and put it in such a way where she could shine, because that person knew, Sami Al-Harbawi knew what her strengths were. And then he called me and said, listen, I'm going to ask Susan to do A, B, and C and eliminate D, E, and F. Are you okay with that? That show turned out to be fabulous. It's still remembered by people in Division B till date. Simply because the mentor understood the strengths and weaknesses and elevated the strengths, eliminated the weaknesses. That is what a mentor will do for you. But she did the work. She wrote the script. We composed the whole show and we said, this is the way we will approach it. He didn't change our pattern. He didn't change anything. He just basically moved box number 3 to box number 1, box number 1 to box number 5. That's all that he did. And suddenly the show became remarkable. So it is important for you to communicate and for the mentor also to reciprocate in the same manner. Hope that question was answered in at least some manner.
Yes, very much. In fact, I was there for the Division B thing where you both were anchoring it. It was a fabulous show, and you got into those attires also. I remember
Yes,
into this
became a spaceman. Both were astronauts.
Astronauts, and she really took it very serious. So I still remember. Yeah. Anyone else who wants to ask your experience as a mentee? How should you go about? See, so many questions that can pop up. At least for the ones who've been there in Toastmasters for quite some time. one more very important thing, Sudarshan, I've noticed is that people tend to change you according to their ideas. Like, I'm not a person who's very dramatic on the stage. So, I've listened to some people who told me to, make some noises on the stage when I come there to do a speech. And that's just not me. So should I be abiding by that? And because I really fell on my face when I did that.
Short answer to your question is not at all. Unless you are you on the stage, you will fall flat on your face. I am not a humorous speaker. I can bring a couple of lines of humor here and there, but I'm not a naturally humorous speaker. So if somebody tells me, infuse humor and you do this and you do that, I cannot become Hashim Halim, right? I am Sudarshan, I will remain Sudarshan. So that is something that the mentor needs to know as to what your strengths are and help you enhance your strengths.
But when we're looking for an external mentor, sorry to interrupt here.
Sorry, go ahead.
We are looking for an external mentor. That person would not know us. That is the reason we are looking for in-club mentors. But when we go out and look for a mentor, that person would not know us. So how do we try it? I mean, how can we get more judgmental about us?
So for example, okay, let me, Chetna, if you don't mind, I will take your example here. Not that she's my mentee or any such thing. I've heard her speak. I heard her speak during the area contest last week, right? Now, I have noticed something. Now, there are two ways to do it. I can pick up the phone or send her a WhatsApp saying, I like these things in your speech, and these things, if you had presented in a different way, maybe it would have helped. That is something that I could do. I don't remember even much of her speech right now because I was busy with my role, but I'm just taking her as an example because I've seen her. Now, this is where, when you go out of the club, sometimes they look at things from a very different perspective because your club has a certain culture and a certain ethos, and therefore your club will perform. Let me take an example. TGIS is a club, right, which is known for humor, which is known for flamboyance. You may not be a flamboyant speaker. You may not be a humorous speaker. The club will want you to do things the way the club does. Nothing wrong with that, but nothing right because it doesn't fit you. So it is like, you are you and they're trying to put on a different mask on your face. It will not work. So in that context, then it is better for you to look at getting somebody who is in tune with your needs. And then over a period of time, you can start exploring those gaps. So for example, coming back to you, you said you are not dramatic on stage, but you have to build up to that. Today, you're not dramatic on stage. Is there a desire for you to become dramatic? It will not come tomorrow. It will not come day after. It will come after 6 months, maybe. But can you build up to that? At a club meeting, you talk in a speech where you emote a lot, you cry, you laugh, etc., etc. So those kind of things you can definitely gradually build up. But if you strictly don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I'll not do it, then accordingly the mentor has to adjust. Rama, yes, you can have 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 mentors also. There is nothing that stops you, but too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah. And how do we handle language? That's one way.
Is an interesting question. Language. So for example, a lot of people complain to me that I use very highfalutin language, and I try and, I speak in a certain type of English because I've read English in a certain way and I come from a certain background and all of that. Ultimately, it is your message that is important. If you look at Katani, who won the world championship, he did not speak in the Queen's English. He did not have diction or grammar which was impeccable. He spoke in a manner in which you understood and I understood. Today, everybody remembers his speech. If you take Dhananjaya, on the other hand, he spoke in Oxford English. His words were at least eight letters in every sentence. Every word that he spoke was 8 letters long. That doesn't mean that you need to copy him. You cannot. You will not. It will not work for you. You can either be a Katani, you can be Darinte, or you can be Dhananjaya. It doesn't matter. What matters is what your message is and how honest you are with your message. So when it is language, your mentor will help you polish it off. But if the word doesn't flow in your mouth, let me give an example. Somebody's speech, I wrote a word, mellifluous cadence. In a sentence, I use these 2 words, mellifluous cadence. She just could not get her tongue to spell those words. She came back and said, "Mere ko samajh mein nahi aaya. I can't do this. Chhod do." I said, "No problem." I said, "Just write beautiful sound." That's what I wanted to say. Unnecessarily, I was trying to impose my language on her. and it didn't work. So this is something that you have to go back to your mentor and say, listen, boss, I can't understand your kind of language. So I would write the way I want to write. Now you tell me how to deliver it better. So language is, to me, it's not at all important in the grand scheme of things. If you have content, language comes by itself. Everybody can speak decent English. Today's meeting we saw, nobody spoke impeccable English of any kind, but we all communicated, we all understand each other.
Right, right. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think we have reached your deadline of 8 p.m. In fact, it is 8:04. So
right.
The flight needs to land now. Otherwise, passengers will scream.
I just didn't get the signal from the runaway, so I'm like just going around. So yes, Ravindra, Toastmaster Ravindra, would you want to ask something all the way from Qatar? Do you have any questions to ask DTM Sudarshan as the last question? And then I can land.
As far as selecting the mentor is concerned, do you look to any region or language preference, or does it help or anything? I mean, from India, so should I look for a India or something like that?
It definitely helps. It definitely helps. I will not kid. In fact, if you look for a mentor from Andhra, it will help you even more, because the reason is the way you think and the way your mentor thinks. If it aligns, the mentor will be able to improve you a lot more than, for example, if you choose a mentor from, say, US, who thinks differently. Therefore, the examples that the person might give may not resonate with you. He may give you a baseball example which you don't know head or tail of. But if you get a mentor from Hyderabad, he will give you something about Charminar which may connect with you. So that is important. Not necessarily that it should be from the same region or language, but it always helps. Ultimately, a mentor is a good friend. And friends are typically people with whom you have something in common, right? Today I am in this meeting and you're listening to me because we all have something in common called Toastmasters. If I came from outside with two horns on my head, you will not listen to me. You will say, Pagal hai, hatao usko. So, that will happen.
Yep. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Ravindra, we have to resonate with each other because we belong to the same place. Great. Yeah.
That is
So,
funny, right? Both of you. One can say something and the other can give an echo.
right.
Already happening.
He already knows that, yeah. Okay, so I think we come to the end of this session. On behalf of Air Rendezvous and the entire cabin crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip. And we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in 15 days. Have a nice evening. Thank you so much. And one last pick. Can we have everyone's videos on? I've taken many, but nevertheless. Amita, Manali. Yes, thank you so much. Just one more smile. Thank you. So don't have water on the flight, and tray tables, remember, and the blankets. Yeah. Take care. Safe night.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone.
So much.
Bye.